Okay, this is another episode of me rambling about something, and that something today is Bloons Tower Defense 6. Now, Bloons Tower Defense 6, what's my history with Bloons as a whole? Bloons is something I've been playing for a long time. I'm trying to think back how far. I played the original Bloons, like not the Tower Defense, but like the action game. I don't know what you'd call it. It was like a puzzle game, kinda. I played a little bit of that. I wasn't like a huge fan. I kind of just, knew of it. Anyone that knew Flash games knew what Bloons was. And I played some of that. I really became like a Bloons fan, I guess, when Tower Defense 4 came out. I played that on my iPod. Played it on my iPod Touch. I still got it laying around somewhere. Love to charge that up and just see what my save is like. But yeah, that was, goodness, what was that, 10 years ago? I'm bad with years. That was a long time ago. But played a lot of that. And then 5 came out. Played even more of that, I think. What was that? I played that on my iPod. No, I didn't play it on my iPod. I played it on my, some Samsung phone. Probably a Galaxy S6, maybe? S8. Played a little bit of that. And then, when Tower Defense 6 came around, I didn't really care about it too much. I don't know what it was. I just didn't... I guess maybe I had like a phase where I just didn't care. I don't know what it was. It was 3D. That was the big thing. 5... Everything before 5 was like sprites. And 6 introduced like 3D models for the monkeys and the backgrounds and all that. I think that kind of put me off for some reason. I don't know why. I don't think I cared too much. Like, I don't think the gameplay put me off. It must have solely been the visual style. Or maybe it's just, what kind of like phase I was going through in life. Where I didn't want to play on a phone. Eventually, Tower Defense 6 came to Steam, and that's when I really got into it. It has a setting where you can sync it to your phone. I still occasionally will play it on my phone. It's good to, if I'm watching TV or something. If I'm watching YouTube, I can just put it on my phone and set it down while rounds are going by. But 6 is when I really, I'd say I became a Bloons fan. So what is it about Bloons Tower Defense 6 that makes me care about it more than, any other tower defense game? What is there? There's Kingdom Rush, Infinitoad, I think that's how you say it. Mindustry? I don't know how to say that. Oh my god, all these tower defense games have confusing names. I've played a lot of tower defense games, but, Bloons always stuck with me. Or I always stuck with it. And I think it's because of the simplistic visual style. It's just monkeys. It's cute, almost. You see a cute dart monkey and it waves at you. That's cute. I like that. It's also complex. 6, Bloons Tower Defense 6 is like the culmination of everything leading up to it. And, it's been iterating. The tower defense games have been iterating on each other up to this point. So now each tower, there's maybe like, Lord, I don't know, maybe like 15 towers, 17 towers, I don't know. But each of those towers has 3 upgrade paths. And each of those gives like a unique ability. Like it'll make them throw faster, or it'll make their attacks more powerful, or it'll make it so they can pop a certain type of balloon. There's 3 paths each, and each of those paths has 5 upgrades in it. So each tower has 15 upgrades. There's a lot of strategies. There's a lot of towers that give way for a lot of strategies. Considering that there's 3 upgrade paths for each tower, and each of those paths gives it its own little, like, I want to say play style, but it's gives it its own unique properties. What's a good tower to showcase that with? Let's go with the bomb shooter. The bomb shooter top path, when you upgrade into that, like as you get into the higher tiers, it'll shoot bombs that stun balloons for a little bit of time. And the highest level one can stun really well. The middle path is good at destroying Moabs, which are these stronger, higher level balloons that are, most balloons, they take 1 pop to like take down damage. So like a red balloon has 1 health. You hit anything with it and it'll pop. Blue balloons have 2 damage. Green balloons have 3, etc. And Moabs will have like 100 or 200. I guess I don't know. But the middle path bomb shooter excels at popping Moabs. So it'll do, to where a normal balloon it'll do 2 damage, a Moab it'll do 25 or something. And, as you upgrade it'll deal even more damage. And the bottom path, it's just like a normal bomb shooter, but when it hits something, shards will pop out. And then you can upgrade to that. And then instead of shards going out, other explosions will go out. And then after that, there's another upgrade where instead of explosions going out, well, the explosions will go out and those explosions will cause explosions. The upgrade's recursive cluster. So, there's explosions into explosions. It's really, that's a fun tower to use. So every monkey has one of those. Every monkey has 3 of those, like, paths that define, like, it's good in this specific instance, and if you want to use it in another instance, you upgrade it this way. So even within towers, there's, room for experimentation. And I have like 200 hours in this game, I think, which is, it's a lot, but some people have 1,000 or something, and I can't imagine that. Early on, it was easy for me to, just find one like strategy that sticks, one strategy that's good, and stick with it. I used the ninja monkey. There was a specific path, like upgrade path that I would use mixed with another tower, the alchemist, and those 2 towers can solo so far. You can get just so far with those 2 only. And, with balloons, it's, depending on the map, you can just stick with that. There's not a lot of, on the easy maps at least, you don't really have to change up your strategy too much. On the harder maps, you have to be a bit more considerate with what you use. And, throughout those hours, I've progressed to the harder maps, and it's made me realize, like, okay, I can't use that exact strategy every time. I gotta mix it up a bit. I gotta, experiment and learn with what works for me. Certain strategies I gravitate towards. I personally, I don't like a lot of active abilities. You press a button and you can give a bunch of dart monkeys a power up or whatever. I don't like doing that. I like having a tower that's like, I can just sit back and watch the tower do the work. But I know if I'm in a difficult map, I might need to use those powers. I might need a tower that, can get a super powered boost for 1 round. But, it's fun to experiment. All right, so I guess I'll talk about, oh boy, this game is a completionist nightmare / wet dream. There are so many things to do in this game. So many things. Too many things, one might say. Okay, so I'll just list some of the things you can do. Each map has so many medals you can get for beating it in a specific mode. How many medals are in each? So there's 3 categories when you first click a map. There's easy, medium, and hard. And within those, or like sub-modes, so easy, it has 2 sub-modes. Well, it has 3 sub-modes, technically. You can click easy, and then you can just play it on easy, and there's nothing special about it. But then there's another mode, reverse, where balloons come from the exit and go to the entrance. So on some easy maps, that might not play too big of a difference, but on harder maps, you gotta use a little bit more strategy. But it's not too different. And then there's another mode, primary only, where you can only use primary monkeys. So each monkey is categorized into a specific category. There's primary, military, magic, and support. And in primary only, you can only use primary monkeys. Stuff like dart monkey, boomerang, bomb shooter, yeah, all that. And then in medium, so there's 3 medals you can get in the easy category. And then there's maybe like 4 for medium. And then in hard, there's like 7 or 8. So what is that? Oh god, I gotta do math. I'll just say 14. There's 14 medals you can get for each map. Each map. And look at how many maps there are. I'm gonna show on screen here. There's like, I don't know how many maps. There's like 6 maps to a page, and there's like 10, 12 pages. Each of those with 14 medals. And when you beat when you get all the medals in a map and do all the challenges, there will be a black border around it. So the goal is, get black borders on all the maps. But lordy, that would take forever. I've been playing for 200 hours, and I only have, I think there's only 6 I have, maybe 7. And those are on like the easiest maps. There's a lot of other stuff to do besides that. There's achievement hunting. That's something I've really been into. I don't know what it is about achievements recently, but just the idea of achievements have sunk their hooks into me. Oh my gosh, I've been achievement hunting in all kinds of different games. I've been looking for games that I currently have that would be really easy to get 100% in. I don't know what it is. I've just felt that desire to do that. And Bloons, I think there's 140 achievements maybe. I think that's right, and I have like 90-ish. Some of those are easy, then some of them are hard, and then there's some that are just time consuming. Like there's one challenge, complete 365 daily challenges. Just saying that, just imagining that, it's a nightmare. Oh my god, I can't believe they'd introduced something. I remember people being upset when they introduced that achievement. So like a couple months ago or something. That's so funny, but oh my gosh. Yeah, technically there's 2 daily challenges, so I'm pretty sure you could do both of those. And that would count so you could do it in half a year. But still, man, that's rough. 365. What else is there? I'm trying to think of any more difficult or like long-term achievements. I can't think of any right now. There's some that are like use the glue gunner to glue 500,000 balloons. Is it 500,000? I think it's 500,000. Glue 500,000 balloons. Pop 500,000 fortified balloons. Those are balloons that take more damage to pop. And stuff like that, you could grind it out, but there's no point. You just wait. You just play the game normally and wait. And, oh my gosh, something else. That plays into this completion thing. Games go by too slow. There's, like I said earlier, there's 14 medals for each map. And, there's however many maps. 12 pages of 6 each. I don't want to do the math. I don't want to do the math and feel like an idiot. There's that many maps, and it takes so long just to do one. I mean, it doesn't take long to do one game. It takes maybe like 7 minutes. I don't know, 7-10 minutes on the longer game modes. Just beating hard on a map isn't anything too difficult. But you got to beat double Moab HP. You got to beat Magic Monkeys only. You got to beat half cash. You got to beat Chimps mode. I don't even want to go into all that, but there's so many modes, and it could take you like 45 minutes to an hour to get every medal. I talked earlier about the medals you can get on the easier modes, like easy, reverse mode, and primary only. Those aren't hard at all. Even on the harder maps, those aren't hard. But there's so many maps, just getting all those is time consuming. And you can speed up the game. Like, you can speed it up. I think if you press the fast forward button, it goes to 3 times speed. But 3 times speed, that feels slow at times. Like, I've played this game long enough to where 3 times speed is the default. Like, I just permanently have 3 times speed selected. I guess it kind of is a rat race. If they added 5 times speed, then that would be the normal. Then people would get used to that, and they'd want to go faster. But still, man, it's... I probably could have gotten all the medals by now, but I just don't want to because it's so boring. Like, realistically, right now, as I'm recording this, I could be playing easy maps on Bloons and just set it down and not pay attention to it. but I don't want to do that. It's boring. You know, I like getting achievements, but that's too much for me. That's like sacrificing my sanity to say, oh, I got black borders on all the easy maps, all the medium maps. It's not worth it for my brain. Beyond that, there's some other modes. Odysseys. Odysseys are pretty cool. These are maps linked together in like a chain. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's like Super Mario World, where you play levels in a certain order. You know, you got 1-1, 1-2, 1-3. Maps are linked together like that. And each map, the person who created it can give certain restrictions. You know, you can only upgrade this monkey so many times. Like you can't upgrade it to a 5th tier. You can only upgrade it to a 4th tier. Or maybe they'll completely remove certain monkeys. It's fun playing with restrictions like that. You know, I talked earlier about how I get set into habits pretty quickly. And having like maps that have restrictions like that, they're like, oh no, you can't use the ninja monkey. I think that's good for me as like a player. Lets me become a better player. You know, I see more strategies and I accumulate more game knowledge. And I like stuff like that. Bosses. Bosses are really fun. Bosses are like, so I described earlier about how there's Moabs that have like, you know, a normal balloon will have a couple HP, but Moabs have like 100. Bosses, they'll have like 1 million or like 8 million or something. Crazy numbers. So it's really like about building the best you can, the biggest defense possible. And you gotta place monkey farms, which give you money. And you gotta place so many of those so you can have money to defend the later rounds when the boss has a 10 million HP or whatever. Those are fun because it really pushes the game to its limits. You know, when you play on easy, you don't need to upgrade that many monkeys. You know, you could probably get away with a couple 3rd tiers. But, you know, on bosses, you need like a bunch of 5th tiers. You need paragons, which are like super upgraded monkeys. Oh, I don't even want to... It's complicated. But you gotta get a lot of money. You gotta farm a lot. It's just fun. It's fun to see the game push to its limits. Contested Territory. That's another mode that came out recently. What's it about? How do I describe this? It's like a... Oh my gosh, I haven't played a lot of mobile games. There's got to be some mobile games that are like this, where you're on a grid, you're placed into teams, and I think there's maybe like 6 teams? So 6 teams are placed in a grid at corners. Each like icon of this grid here is a map, and each map has like certain restrictions. Or not necessarily restrictions, it has... I guess restrictions is maybe the right word. It'll be like a least cash. So you gotta try to beat this map with the least amount of cash possible. And say you beat it in $10,000. If you set a score for that tile, $10,000, and another team can try and take that tile if they beat it with less than $10,000. So it's kind of a fun like PvP mode kind of. There's like competitive modes in this game, but there's not I don't think there's not really any where you're like competing directly against someone. There's some like in bosses where there's like a leaderboard where there's like different times. But in this, you're like, okay, I have to beat this specific person's score. And it's fun. It's fun. I don't play too much of it. I think I got lucky with the team I picked in that, you know, we kind of dominate. There's one guy on the team that's really into it. Something else that's kind of bad about this is that if you want to do well, you kind of have to rely on the enemies not really playing. Like, I recorded footage of this, and I think you'll be able to see, maybe I'll show on screen here, but you can see our tiles. There's so many tiles of us, my team. I don't remember. I think we're the blue team. Don't hold me to that. But there's so many blue tiles, or whatever our team's color is. And, you know, there's like one yellow tile, one pink tile. Like, those people aren't even trying to take tiles. Our team is just grabbing all of them we can. And we're going to be first place no matter what, because they are not... Those teams don't... People aren't playing. And I imagine that'd be frustrating, you know, as if I was on one of those teams. You know, I get placed on, I'm the only person that's playing. And, you know, I go against a team that has like 5 other people that are like actively trying to win. That must not feel fair. They've announced that they're pitting teams against each other that are like equally active. I think they might have done that already, which is weird considering that my current contested territory, those go on for like a couple days, a week maybe. So this week's match has been kind of really good for us, but not for everyone else. I thought they were working on that. We'll have to, maybe it was for a future one. I don't know. Okay, I guess we're wrapping up here. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Oh, powers. Powers. This is how they monetize the game. Powers are abilities you can use. You can spend monkey money on. Monkey money is like their premium currency. Well, you get monkey money. You get monkey money for beating maps, basically doing anything in the game. But you can also buy monkey money with real human money, and you can spend monkey money on, among other things, powers. And just to give an example of some of these powers, you know, there's you can place some spikes on the ground on the track that'll pop balloons. You can buy a power that'll deal damage to balloons all across the screen. You can what else is there? I don't use them. I don't know what they are. I think there's one that does damage to Moabs. Yeah, I don't use them because it feels kind of counterintuitive. I mean, obviously I don't want to waste my monkey money that I can use for like continues in case I lose during a boss or something, but powers they just feel cheesy. You know, if I'm losing and I'm about to die because balloons are taking me over, I don't want to spend money. Like, it feels like I'm subverting the game. And it's obvious to know they want you to pay for that stuff. I guess I'm glad that it's not like you need to use them. Like, if games were extremely difficult to the point where you felt like you needed to use powers, I guess it'd be a different story. But, you know, at my skill level, I don't really need to use them. I guess that's good. I guess it's good that there's the option. You know, I've seen so many games that have stuff like that, and they balance it around you needing these, like, supplemental powers. But Bloons doesn't feel like that, which is good. You know, it's... On one hand, this is a cheap game. It's like $10. I've seen it go on sale as low as $3. And this is how they monetize. I haven't paid a single real-life dollar for monkey money in this. I've solely cruised off, you know, what I get from winning maps and winning bosses. At first, it felt like I wasn't getting enough. You know, there's hero monkeys. These are like special hero monkeys that are like named and they have special abilities. Like there's a Quincy. He's a character. He's a defined character. Has like a bow and arrow. And, you know, he goes from level 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And each of those has like a special upgrade. Each of those heroes, there's 12, 13 maybe. Each of those costs monkey money. And I remember at first I was like, I don't have nearly enough monkey money. And it was frustrating because these are like mechanical advantages. You know, the starting heroes are fine, but there's some like Benjamin. Benjamin's solely based around giving you more money in game, like more money in the match, not like more monkey money, more money per match. You know, you place him down and he slowly gives you money. And that's like, for most people, that's the hero they use. He's the best, one of the best heroes in the game, and he costs some amount of monkey money to buy. And I remember I was like, oh, there's all these cool heroes that I want to get, but I didn't have enough monkey money to get it, and it felt like they were pressuring me to spend real human money on it. But I didn't, and 200 hours later, I'm doing pretty well off. I have like 14,000 monkey money or something. I've bought every hero. I've bought every skin for every hero. I just did that recently, so it was probably like the 200 hour mark. I was able to buy all the heroes and all their skins, which I like that you can buy the skins too. That's cool. So I guess early on, I kind of felt sour about the monetization. But nowadays, now that I've played enough to where I've gotten all that stuff, I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not personally one to use powers, but, you know, if someone wants to use a power in the middle of a game just so they don't have to, you know, waste time restarting, that's fine by me. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Modding. I don't mod Bloons Tower Defense 6. It seems like Ninja Kiwi, the developer, they have a policy about modding. I haven't looked into it too much. They don't officially support it, and it seems like they might take action against you. You can tell if your account is flagged for like hacking or something. And I don't quite know how they have a distinction between modding and hacking. I know there's some stuff like with Cheat Engine, you can slow the game down. That'll make a mode like a race easy, where you have to beat the map as quickly as possible. And if you slow it down, you have more time to think. But then there's mods like new towers, new maps. There's one that lets you speed the game up insanely fast, as fast as your computer allows. I'd love to use that, but I'm hesitant to use that on my main account that I've been playing for 200 hours. I might get flagged, and then I won't be able to play any of the online modes. But they've announced that they're working on an official modding platform. I don't know how that's going to look. I don't know if it'll just be like custom monkeys, custom maps, or if they'll let you do like mechanical stuff, like if I'll be able to download a mod that lets me speed up the game. I doubt they do that, because like if I were able to speed up the game times 20, that would affect like the economy of how much, like the economy of monkey money. So I doubt they do something like that. But, you know, I've watched a lot of videos of like modded monkeys, modded towers, modded special maps and all that. It looks really cool. I'm very much looking forward to trying that out if they ever... Seems like it might be a long-term thing to when they actually add modding officially. I'm looking forward to that. I like mods in games. It gives it a longer lifespan. Very much looking forward to that. Bloons is already like... Tower Defense 6 is like 5 years old, 6 years old. It's been around for a long time, and they're still working on it. You know, they have another game, Bloons TD Battles 2, which is like it's like a head-to-head Bloons, where you're sending balloons to the enemy, and they're sending balloons to you, and you gotta defend against all that. They're working on that, as well as TD6. I'm looking forward to the future of it. You know, it's been out for a while, and looks like they'll keep supporting it for many years to come. Alright, so that's this episode of... What's it called? Rambling About? Is that that's what I do in the series. I guess that's what it's called. If you got any suggestions for another episode, just leave it in the comments. Still got plenty of stuff to go through myself, but I'm interested to hear what you guys want me to talk about, if there's anything in particular. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. How do I stop this? Oh my god.